Hello YouTube friends, welcome back to this project that I'm doing with my son John. You might have seen the first video where John and I explain what it is we're doing with this project. We came up with it a couple of years ago, and in this next instalment we're going to be talking about how my friend Rachel has taken the wood from this pear tree and turned it into these most amazing spoons. She's a really amazing craftswoman, and I'm sure you'll enjoy seeing this chunk of wood that used to be a branch being turned into the most exquisite spoon. Rachel lives near the northeast coast in a little town on a terrace, and so in the film that follows you may hear some noise from her neighbours in the other backyards. But I really hope you enjoy this video. If you did and you wanted to see a longer version of this spoon carving, there's much more of this process over on Patreon, and you'll find that in the link below and also on the end card. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time when I take you to the next person we're going to meet. Leave a little bit extra on the top of the handle because I like a little bit of a curve coming down into the bowl, so I've had to leave the wood there, and I'm going to just now axe down into the back of the bowl. I don't need to be too precise because I'm going to use the knife to get any extra bits off. This is just establishing the lines. So that is the top of the spoon axed, and I'm going to get my trusty template. So what I do next is use a saw to cut it to length, and also to cut more of those stop cuts in, just to help the next bit of axe work. So I'll take the top off first. I'm coming down the side of the handle. It's always a little bit of a risky moment. And then I'm going to use the axe just to draw that line a little bit closer. The wood will pop off at the stop cut, so I don't need to go all the way down to where the bowl is. And that's us ready for the knife. Top edge. Now for these spoons I'm drawing around a template to make sure they're all as similar as possible. So now what I'm going to do is swap knives and pay attention to the surfaces. So the top surface first, really trying to get a lovely continuous carve down that handle, because if it's carved in one go it'll likely be smooth. And then coming down, matching the grain.
in order to carve the bowl, I need a special knife, and it's called a hook knife. And it's just a knife with a bend in it, but it means that I can get into the centre of the bowl. You can see some nice rings starting in on there. Well, I've got it mostly established. I'm going to put down my hook knife and get my straight knife again, because I want to go finely round the rim and make sure that it's... Up to now I haven't been able to make sure that it's level this way because I had material in the middle, but now that I've removed that I can just make sure that it's level on both sides. See, that's, can you see? I can see it's mostly level. One of the last things I do, it's not the last thing, is now to thin down the back of the bowl so it's just right. And this is the first time the back of the bowl's had this finishing knife on it, so this is also the point at which the back's going to start to look really smooth and shiny. Just bringing that line. I'm automatically checking what that curve looks like and bringing that line around. And it also means that actually it's more hard wearing, because these little corners are what can get a little bit fluffy if you do by accident leave your spoon soaking in water. And by taking them off, it just reduces the short grain bits of wood that can absorb moisture. Yeah. So wooden spoons can be treated much the same as other cutlery, but don't put them in a dishwasher. And I would say also, don't let them sit in water. They do float, which is lovely. I mean, if you're washing up wooden utensils, one of the joys is that all your cutlery floats, and you don't have to do that digging around in the bottom of a grubby washing up bowl to find your cutlery. So I really love that. As soon as I finish using a spoon, I'll rinse it, and then hot soapy water and let it drip dry. No other care. If you find that over time you get to do the best bit of looking after a spoon, because you'll put your own patina onto it. So if you use this spoon for spicy soup with cumin in and lots of colourful spices, then your spoon's going to go nicely yellow. If you use it for other things, it'll go different colours, and you get to give your spoon your own special patina. But what might happen over time is that it might not look quite as shiny and lustrous as it does when you first get it. And if that's the case and it bothers you, ideally you just leave it and it gets its own shiny lustrousness over the years with something special called palm oil. That's the oil from the palms of your hand. But if you want to sort of treat your spoons, you can rub them with maybe something like walnut oil if you've got any. Not olive oil. It needs to be an oil that polymerizes. Olive oil will just sit on the surface and could go rancid, but something like walnut oil, if you put a really thin rub of it on, you'll end up with a really shiny spoon again. The spoons that you get will be treated with a mixture of linseed oil and beeswax, and that should keep them looking pretty nice. But as I say, over time they will dull a little bit. So for comparison, when we started out, we started with a piece of wood that looked a little bit like this, and now we've got a bit like that, and all the rest of the wood is going to be burnt in my log burner.
Isn't that fantastic? I love that one. Someone's going to get that in their box with their bowl from Lisa and the next thing that's coming, which is the print from Louise. Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Super.
I feel like putting a little ribbon around that one so that the person who gets to that box will know that that's the one that they've just seen being made.
Yeah, that would be funny, wouldn't it?
It would be nice to do that.
Mm.
So can we
see the others?
I'd like to see.
I'm going to keep that separate because I still need to finish it, but these are part of the pile.
Could you identify that one for me? Just by putting a bit of ribbon around it or something?
Yeah, mental note. Yes, I'll do something.
So now then,
get the Amazon box out of the way soon.
wow. So you've made all these spoons in the very same way. Look at them. Oh, look at them.
Yeah.
I keep looking at these and think, oh, I think I better keep that one for me. Oh, I think I might have to keep that
be
one for
careful.
me.
There are going to be 100 spoons, but how many we actually get out?
Look at that one. That's beautiful. But then I really like the
Plainness as well. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you went for the round with me on that design there, because I very much like how they look.
Oh.
They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I couldn't be more pleased. I really couldn't. How are we going to let other people have these? Thank you so very much for showing me this process. That's a beautiful one as well.
So there's a plain, it's almost got a, I can see which ones came from the same bit of
the same
wood
tree.
Yes,
I can see that too. We could play that game.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Couldn't
yeah, and so that's sometimes about the order in which they were done. No, you see,
that's this one.
Really
this
weird, isn't it?
Good game. Might play my Joker on this one.
Actually, that's different. So I think we're going to play as well.
Play your Joker. Oh, they're beautiful, Rachel. Absolutely beautiful. And so these are the spoons for my project. But you will have other spoons available for people who don't want to buy the Dish and the Spoon project, or sadly they've sold out.
Yeah.
You'll be
so yeah. I mean, generally I work with a waiting list, so people just contact me. They order a spoon, and I say, yeah, it'll be a couple of months, and then I'll let you know when they're ready.
Well, I'm so pleased with these. I think you can tell. Thank you so very much.
I'm pleased that you're pleased.
Good. Thank you. Great. Thank you.